Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond, a show about reviewing horror movies for the living to understand the dead. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles, and this is Shudderary, where we go behind the screens of Shudder original and exclusive movies. Today, I have a really awesome special guest, Brynne Hurlbutt. She's a model and she played Anne in the Shudder original movie, Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. Hi, Brynne. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Deja vu.
Very much so.
Yes. So let's get right into this. So this is Brynne. She played Anne in Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. It is currently streaming on Shudder. That movie is pretty awesome. The story, the characters, you guys will love it. So tell us a little bit about, yourself.
Ah, well, I am a cat mom to two little kitties. I currently am just working in retail, trying to figure things out until I can get another agency situation figured out. I got the opportunity to do a commercial not too long ago and dip my feet back into it, so that was really great. And I have a house full of roommates. There's so many people here, but it's so great and I love it.
So, and you play Brynne. I mean, you play Brynne. You play yourself, girl.
I do.
you, you play Anne and Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. So, how did you get that role?
So I was actually on vacation with my family at the beach on the East Coast, and I received an email from my agency about the role. And I said, I look 14, and so I submitted. And then I heard back, and I got the audition, and then Jaren wanted me to come in again for a callback. And then I found out I got the role, and then I found out that they'd sent out my photo to find the Siamese twin partner, and it was just a whirlwind, really. I had the role before I even realized it, and I was just ecstatic.
Well, that is very exciting because your role plays a significant part in this film. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, so the story goes, there's some ex-convicts, Iman, Carlos, and Albert, and they run a moving company, and they are hired to do some moving in an elderly man's house. His name is Vern. But they have to stay out of the attic and out of the basement. But in horror films, no one listens.
No one ever does.
So you play Anne. And so there's twins. So it's basically twins. There's Sarah and Anne. And if you guys do not know, Vern, that character is based on a real life Nazi. His name was Angel of Death. So that character, Vern, who owns the house, is play a character that is in real life. And his name is Joseph, or Joseph, however you say it. I don't know. But it was way back when, and he was a German officer and a physician, and he was obsessed with twins. So that's why her role as Anne is very important, including Sarah. Because you meet you meet Anne in the attic, I believe. Mm-hmm. And if you know about attics, in the word Anne, because Anne Frank was hidden in the attic. So this film had a lot of symbolism. And you meet Anne, and she cannot speak, but she's trying to communicate, but the only way that she could was write her name. And she spelled out Anne. And so when they were trying to come out so we can help you, then you see what's really going on. Now, how was that experience? Like, please talk to us about the process of the makeup and that thing on your back.
It was, so the thing on my back, it was actually made out of like a silicone, and they had a strap harness that I would wear over my sports bra and like my Spanx. And it took me like 7 hours the first 2 days, like individually, to get in full costume and dress. because then they'd paint like my whole body white, and then they'd give me like yellow spots and veins for jaundice, and they yellowed my teeth, and my hair at the time was like about 11 inches longer than it is now, and so it was like long and greasy, and they put coconut oil in it. It was so much fun because that's all everybody saw of me on set. They only saw me look like gross. And so when I actually showed up at like the after party, nobody recognized me at first. They're like, Brynne?
Really?
I'm like, yes. Yeah, it was actually kind of funny. They all kind of did a double take, and I was like, I know. I look much better this way.
Oh wow! I thought all of them would have seen you. At least the characters would have seen you, and then what's the name? Ryan, Morgan, Bryce, Michael, Avery. I thought they would have seen you beforehand.
We tried to show them as little before monster makeup as possible. Specifically more so with Garrett and his monster makeup being the perfect Aryan soldier mutant thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to hide him much more. My character wasn't as gory, but the thing on the back, nobody liked looking at that. Like, people would turn away. Ryan would stand next to me sometimes, couldn't I just like turn it to him, like, look at it, Ryan, because it smelled. And then they'd put KY jelly on the skin flaps, and it
smelled.
It smelled. It was just like a musty smell just from being like foam and silicone. But I loved being in the makeup. I thought it was so fun. They did like the smallest details. I was so impressed with how much like the whole full body makeup was thought out, because they put like blood under my fingernails and they like bruised up my arms. It was incredible.
It looked incredible. It looked painful. Like it even though you wasn't in any pain, but it looked painful. Like you felt so bad, like, for you. And Sarah, now, how did she fit into the makeup and you? Like, so
there was a full body, it was like a full like baby doll prosthetic, almost like in a backpack harness situation. But then for the close-up shots, they sent out the casting list to look for my twin, actually, and they found Avery, and she and I look quite similar. And so they did prosthetic makeup on her and had her act out the close-up scenes. And then there were times where Avery and I would even be back to back so that we could have a good shot of us both being alive.
Because there was a scene where you could kind of see you both. So when you were back to back, did they like embedded her almost on you?
So we tried
it look like
it was low budget, so we only had like the one skin graft for the dummy, but we would just kind of like use camera angles, and we'd like try and drape over the hospital gowns to kind of create that illusion of there being a skin graft. A lot of it was very much amazing camera work.
Okay. Wow. So how was everybody on the set? Like, that relationship on the set? I mean, this was a very serious topic film. It's very sensitive. I mean, how did that play off on set?
I think that everybody understood what their role was in trying to approach this topic very well. But because we all already knew what we were trying to project as a group, I don't think there was any moments where we felt like, oh, there's like this tension, we have to get this scene right. It was very lighthearted, but also very much go, go, go. So it was a really good pacing, honestly. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't feel like we were rushed for scenes. I didn't feel like anybody really had any angst or tension with each other. It was just a really nice set life.
How long did your scenes take? The one in the attic. How long was that to shoot?
So that scene in the attic, we filmed it over one night because there was a skylight in the attic. So we had to wait until it was like pitch black to start filming, and so we filmed that well into like 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you look tired. Yeah. You really was tired.
I really was. We were filming down in Salt Lake, and I lived about 30 minutes south of downtown Salt Lake at the time, so I was driving pretty far.
You drive back and forth. Oh wow. Why not just stay there? Like,
I I didn't make enough money to be able to afford to stay downtown. But
Okay.
I did have my car, and so it was only a 30-minute drive there and then 30 minutes back. And I was excited, so I didn't mind spending the extra gas.
So the other scene where you guys were hiding,
Mm-hmm.
it was like downstairs, and that's when Carlos, Bryce's character, ran out to help. How long did that scene take?
Oh, that one, it took honestly like maybe a couple of hours for us to really get it nailed down. I think we filmed over a period of like total for the film at least 3 or 4 weeks. I might even
Oh,
be wrong then. It might have taken less. I know I was on set for about 9 days over 2 weeks.
oh, okay. And in that one you had to fight a little
Hmm.
bit. So how was that?
I was I was a little anxious. I was scared that I might accidentally hit someone because like I got long arms. Sometimes I don't know where they're gonna go. Um, and then they were like, but the handle that you see, the screwdriver that I'm holding, it's
Mhm.
actually the metal is CG. I'm only holding
Oh,
like a regular, just a handle.
oh, really? See, everything
Yeah,
looks so real.
they did phenomenal on the CGI. The arm in the beginning isn't even me.
Wait, what arm?
The arm that comes out of the ceiling, like in the crib room, that's not my
What?
arm. Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Girl. What? Now I feel like a fool.
I, if I
I
remember
thought it was your
correctly,
arm.
I think it's somebody else's arm. It might be one of our set managers. I can't remember, but I know it's not mine. But I know it's supposed to be me.
She was like, girl, it ain't me.
I'm like, you didn't want
Oh,
me to do
wow.
my own arm?
What did you ask?
I just came and they were like, we already shot the arm scene.
Oh.
It's like, okay.
Okay. The scene where you guys they were trying to collect you and
Hmm.
Sarah to get up out of there. So Sarah only had very small parts then,
Hmm.
because we see most of you in the gown looking distraught and disgusting and trying to run out. How was that scene when they were trying to get you out of there?
So that scene was really interesting because in the scene right before it is after we fall down the stairs and we have like the floor altercation. That floor
Mm-hmm.
is very old and there were nails that stuck up and I did get stuck and we had to hammer them down. And so from that point on, I was wearing shoes and they just shot from like the knees up. So me and
Oh,
Morgan did it
wow.
like I think we did it like 8 or 9 times, just running and running down the street, and we had like 3 or 4 people stop and ask us what we were doing or if we needed help. They're like, "Everything good?" We're like, "Yeah, we're filming a movie."
Wait a minute. Oh, really? See, it
Yeah.
looks so real. They
Mhm.
That is hilarious. See, that should be in the bloopers.
I wish they had bloopers.
I know that would be really funny to see, like the cameraman go down with you, and then someone's like, "Oh my god, you guys need help!"
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you? I mean, you was the nail rusty? I mean,
It was just a little bit like it's just an antique
okay.
flooring. I was just barefoot. I was the only one who was barefoot besides Garrett for his scenes. And it was just a very
Okay.
old house.
Because the reason I say, tetanus.
Yeah. I think I'm okay. It was a long time ago and I haven't died yet.
Oh, wow. So it was very physical for you, and this
Mhm.
was like your first real big film, right?
Yeah. I
So
actually
I mean,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was actually also still I was waiting for a surgery actually on my knee. So the bandage that I have on my knee is a padded knee brace that they wrapped in gauze and makeup.
Wow. So how was that experience? Just overall, that this is your first time on a set like this, and
Mhm.
like it seemed like it was very physical, tiring. Like what was going through your mind? Like, oh my god,
I
like,
thought I could do this forever. I love it. I
oh.
loved it so much. Like I had been wanting to be an actor since I was a very small child. I did theater all the way from high school. I did all the Shakespeare competitions, all of the acting stuff. Anything I could get like myself to do acting wise that was accessible to me, I was doing. And so the fact that I like was able to do this shows me that I can do this if I want to. And it just really pushed me to want to do this more.
Wow, I hope you do. I mean, The movie is amazing. So after it was done and you got to, did you watch it with your family, or was there like a little party, everybody watched? Like, how did
So
it go?
I watched it with just me and my boyfriend, and we sat and we watched it, and he was like, "So what do you think?" I was like, "I think it's all right. Like, I mean, it's my own movie. I can't really say if it's good or
Yeah.
bad." And so all of a sudden, though, I get all these texts from my friends, and they're all planning to watch it with me, and I've watched it. I'm not kidding you, like 15 times with like 15 groups of people. They
Ooh.
just want to watch it with me. I don't want to watch it anymore. I'm tired. I literally I keep watching it to the point where like I just sit and I analyze it now, and I'm, oh my god. I've just seen it a lot.
Well, it's a great film. It really is. Were, since it was your first film, were you happy of how you performed? I know it's like critiquing yourself,
Yeah.
but as far as like your first film, I mean, some people, I mean, you were great. Some people ain't even like that. So, I mean, their first film, you know, but for you, how was that?
I actually am pretty proud of myself because I feel like I did a really good job with what I was given. And that was
Mm-hmm.
the goal that I had, was that I would do a good job with what I was given, and that it would be a unique job, one that not somebody else just off the street could like immediately connect with this character and immediately start predicting this character's actions, because there were a lot of things that did get cut from the final film. I noticed from like the original script and the backstories of Anne. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I really did get invested in this character. Like, she had this backstory of like poring over the library we see in the film to like educate herself, and that's why she's so betrayed by Albert when she sees everything that's going on. Not to give any spoilers.
And I think a lot of people appreciate a film like this,
Mhm.
touching on a very sensitive topic. I mean, and then you have those who thought it was too sensitive. So where do you lie into there, like knowing after watching it
Mhm.
and knowing what the subject matter and the opinions of people around you, like what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of in a unique situation, I feel like. My grandmother is a person of color, and so I've had my entire childhood watching how she's been treated in that experience. And then I've also had my own experience being lighter tone in this film. It had about, it was about as diverse as you can get cast wise. But with that, it didn't bring like any animosity, or everyone on the set had the same idea that this is supposed to be a fun, gory horror film about ridiculous Nazi monsters because Nazis are ridiculous. I kind of took it from the approach of this film was supposed to have kind of like a cultish classic feel to it, kind of like a Creature from the Black Lagoon vibe. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be a little ridiculous of the Nazis because they're supposed to be absurd. And so some people thinking that they're not sensitive enough or oversensitive. I think it really just comes down to taste, what people want to have conversations about and what they find their humor in. But I don't think necessarily there's a place to hate on art or conversation. I think, if anything, we just need to have that conversation. If you find something funny and gory that's a movie that your friend necessarily wouldn't watch, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, this movie, God, I like dissect it, especially when you know some of the characters, they were actually real life, you know, and it's based on a real life character.
Yeah.
So was Vern. The other ones were just like, you know, the fuel to pump the movie, to move it
Mhm.
along. But I did interview Ryan Francis, Morgan Alexandria, Bryce Fernelius, and oh my God, Josh. No, Jason. He probably going to be like, girl, you don't know my name. Jason Scott Goldberg. um, I interviewed them and they told their stories of
Mhm.
this film, and man, it just blew me away. It really did. So Brian, you know, talking to you, Brian, it's just, you know, you get a different perspective from the other actors because, you know, they've been acting a lot more and
Yeah.
their resumes are long. And believe me, when I was talking to Ryan Francis and And I learned he was Peter Pan in Hook.
Oh, yes.
I went back to look at it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I had such a huge crush on that Peter Pan in Hook as a kid. And then I'm talking to him and not knowing, because I only research what I have to. And then I did it later. I was like, man, I probably looked mad.
I found out like on my 4th day on set.
Ooh, you. Well,
took
you
me
was
a while.
up close.
I know. I don't know how I didn't catch it.
I mean, was you nervous okay, at any point were you nervous on set, like for your character, or just because your first time,
Yeah,
like.
I was really nervous going into it, but the cast was so nice and they're so warm and welcoming. I told them it was my first like moment on set, but that this was like, if I love this, then this is what I have to do. There's no other decision, and I loved it. And they understood that. They accepted that moment with me, and it was really great.
That's nice to hear. I mean, sometimes you hear horror stories. You're like, oh, I would never work with them again. But they were such nice people when I interviewed them, and all of them follow me, and they're so sweet,
Yeah.
And so to hear that, straight from you, because you were there.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. It's for real.
Oh yeah, I'd love to work with any of them again, or all.
Oh, have you ever reached out to any of them? Or
I tried to reach out to the producers to see if there was anything that I could help out with, and sometimes Ryan and I check in on each other to see how each other's doing. But that's about the extent of it. But if any of you are watching and you got something for me, hit me up. My handle's below.
Yeah, it's all about connections.
Really is. It really is.
I'm learning that. I mean, I just started doing this. Well, I had a blog years ago, and then I started really going on video probably a year. Was it a year ago? Yeah, something like a year ago. And I realized it's a lot of who you know. But then who once you get there, you better you got to deliver.
One of the things one of my first agents told me is that your job as an actor or a model is to walk in there and be perfect. You have to be perfect at your job because they expect to be able to do that job within the time frame they've already set. Every day they add on is money. So just do it to the best of your ability.
That's some good advice. That really, it sounds scary, but it's actually true. Yeah, because if you got picked, they're ready.
Yeah.
And they don't have time to, I don't get it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
We don't have time for that. And it's true. Yeah. And sometimes it depends on the set. I mean, you had a very warm welcome.
Yes, they were very patient with me and very understanding.
Yeah, and the next set may scare the hell out of you.
I hope not. I hope I'm more mentally prepared by then. I have like an agent I can call and complain to by then or something.
I know, right? But it's true. Like but you have to learn how to handle both.
Yeah.
And that's the scary, because you don't know until you walk in. And you have to change so fast and understand so quickly. But I see a bright future. I mean, yes, it was stalled, but this pandemic was just, it was just disgusting for everybody. Somebody suffered somewhere, whether it was a lot or little. But things are starting to open up. I see more people working. So who knows? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because I'm definitely going to be tagging all of them in this post, because I am talking about them. This is a film that they're in, so they're going to want to see it. So you never know. Because I know you're going to get out there. I know it's going to happen.
I appreciate it.
It's just,
lot.
we want it to happen right now.
I know, I'm so impatient, but I know that if I am patient, I will get there.
Mm-hmm. Or get one of those roles that just really like blow your hair back. Like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm here.
Yeah. I'd love to have one. I'd drop everything to go film a movie right now.
You hear that?
I love it.
She's good. So you guys have to stay. Yeah, you have to stay here. You have to stay here. So you guys have to watch Stay Out of the Attic. Check it out. And Brynne, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I wish you great success, and it will happen. You were great in this film.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. So if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Check out my other videos, and more Shudderary videos are coming your way. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. Bye, guys.